Shout out to our organ player over there.
Right?
Hey, you know how long that takes to learn?
Yeah, it does, especially to get on key.
Hey, I'm always on key.
Not when you're done with that happy juice, you won't be.
That Jesus juice.
So today we're gonna be talking Halloween specials.
Yay! Ow, 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 ow!
To me, Halloween specials are usually like the best and are the thing to look forward to, honestly.
Yeah, especially when you're a little kid and you always see like the commercials like next week on, and they do like a Halloween one. You're like, yeah, because it gets you like into the mood and into the spirit, you know?
Especially when the characters get into it too.
Yeah.
That's what really sells it for me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is really cool. And then when I think one of the things that I noticed is that when sitcoms did Halloween specials, they always weren't afraid to go wacky with it.
That's true. And I feel like they got into it more back then. Today,
Yeah.
they kind of like, you don't always see a Halloween special that much anymore.
No, because a lot of it now is like, if you think about it, back then when a sitcom was airing, they aired it around fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like every time like the season finale would end, it'd end on the summer. If you ever noticed that, like Full House, Family Matters, it always end like either at the end of the school semester or at summer's break.
Summer break, yeah.
And then when they come back, they will always have holiday specials.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the best. I always loved waiting for those.
Like with Modern Family, like since a lot of it is in real time, so they follow people from point A to point B. There's never a point where they stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parks and Rec was another one that did that as well.
Oh, okay.
You ever watch Parks and Rec?
No, I never really got into it, no.
Someone's favorite show.
Rob Lowe's on it though, right?
Oh, Rob Lowe.
I love him.
He's fucking awesome.
I love him, so maybe it's worth watching.
I never thought he'd be that funny, but
He's hilarious.
He's fucking hilarious in that show.
Is Adam Scott in that too?
Yeah.
I like him.
They both play off each other very well.
I love Adam Scott. He's so freaking funny.
And so, you know, Parks and Rec has like a couple of good Halloween specials too.
Do they?
Yeah.
I should check it out.
They have some really good ones. But I'm curious, where did you land? Like, where did you go?
So I did kind of ones from like my childhood growing up until today, which is funny because the today one is a cartoon. It's an adult family cartoon. But before we get into that, I just want to say, because it is technically a Halloween special, but WNUF Halloween special, which came out, I guess, 2013. It's technically like a movie length, but it's so freaking great. It's on Amazon Prime now, and it's so entertaining. And I think I'm gonna add that to my list of things to watch every Halloween year or every time it's the season, because it's just so great. Did you get a chance to see it?
I haven't watched it yet.
You should watch. So it's very similar to, I don't know if like you're into Adult Swim.
Yeah.
But Adult Swim would do like infomercial puns and stuff like that.
10 minutes of a bear.
Yeah. So it's like that, but it takes place here on Halloween. And then on top of that, it's like these newscasters, and one of their journalist people is waiting outside of like a real haunted house. And so they do like Halloween commercials, and then they go back to that newscast thing. And the ending though, like, holy crap. Like, it just takes you, like, because it's a comedy up until that point.
Really?
Yeah. So it's fun. I definitely recommend it. It's super entertaining. It's worth a check out for sure.
Yeah, I have been seeing a lot of buzz about that one lately.
I never heard about it though when it actually came out.
Neither have I. I think it was one of those movies that kind of just got lost on VOD.
Yeah, I think so, because 2013. Yeah.
You know, because it's sad too, because a lot of those like movies get lost on VOD now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, shit. You have to filter through so much just to get to that one, you know?
Yeah. But that's definitely check that one out. So do you want to start off on, so we're basically going to break it down. We're going to do 5 each of our favorite Halloween specials.
Yeah, but before we get there, you said you went more nostalgia. Was that where you went?
I did. I went more like my childhood, which is like the 90s. And then my last one is more recent. So
it's more nostalgia for you?
Yeah, It's more nostalgia for me.
So is it more family friendly?
Yeah, I would say so for sure.
Really? That's
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right, so let's go with number 5. And these are not in order, people, so please don't fucking kill us and saying, "Oh, how come this isn't higher on your list?" These are not in order. These are just our...
Just ones we like.
Yeah, so... or the ones that we recommend. So number 5, kick it off.
All right, I'll kick it off. So this is a more recent one. Bob's Burgers.
Which one?
Oh my god. So they didn't actually do Halloween episodes until season 3, which is Full Bars. So that's the one I'll start off with. That one is freaking hilarious. So that's season 3, and like the kids want to go trick-or-treating alone this year, and Teddy invites Bob and Linda to the party, and they kind of don't want to go because they're not into it. But
no,
then
Linda wants to go. Bob doesn't
Linda
want
wants
to go.
Bob's like, I don't know, you know how Bob is. But so they end up going to Teddy's party, and the kids go trick-or-treating alone, but they go to the rich island.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I forgot if it's Hog's Island or something like that. Where
something like that,
they hand out like full bar size candy.
Full bars.
Full bars. How does this not ruin your economy? But it's just so hilarious, and their costumes are so funny, and you know, the teens like try to egg all the little kids, and I don't know, it's really funny and entertaining. And then Bob wears that like fat suit because
and he kills the gerbil.
and kills the gerbil by accident. And Teddy's like, you could have been Summer Frankenstein, but you didn't.
He's like, well, I didn't kill him. Why would you spray paint your gerbil?
Yeah, exactly. He spray paints his whole apartment like black and orange.
Yeah.
But it's super fun. It's definitely family friendly.
I really do enjoy some of their Halloween specials, and I think they have some really good ones.
Another good one they do is The Haunting. Did you see that one?
I did, but I was kind of in and out of the episode because I was doing other things.
Oh, okay.
And so I do remember like they went to a house.
Yeah.
Because they said it was supposed to be haunted, and then I think Louise plays a prank on him.
So Louise doesn't get scared easily.
Yeah.
And the parents like, well, we'll find a way to scare you. So she's like, all right. So they go along with it, and they go to a house that's supposedly haunted, and it turns out that everything adds up, because then there's like a freaky guy outside, their tire gets slashed or something. But Bob planned all of it, and at the very end, Louise actually does get scared. And that was like season 6.
I think that was season 6 or 7.
6, yeah. So that was a really good one, though. I would say like those two were my favorite Halloween specials for Bob's Burgers.
And then they got I think they have a new one coming up.
Is it out yet or no?
I think it airs this week.
Oh, okay.
And it's it's something, a werewolf on the street or something like that. Like there's someone dressed up as a werewolf scaring all the kids.
Oh no, they already did that one.
Oh, they did that one already?
I think that was last year.
Oh, okay, so that's the one that I saw.
Oh,
I didn't see, but I saw it on Hulu. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, that's last year's.
I was browsing through Halloween specials, and I couldn't find some of the ones that I wanted to talk about. So, Bob's Burgers always has some good ones. Mm-hmm. And, I stopped watching after season 4.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's right around the time they kill Bob, or allegedly kill Bob at the carnival.
Oh,
with the brothers.
When he tries to drown him.
Yeah.
Fish show. Yeah, they try to drown him.
Creep show.
Yeah, I know. It's totally like Creep show. Yeah, it gets funny again. That one kind of was like, but there's definitely some good ones to check out.
All right, so my number 5 is actually kind of old school, and I saw this when I was a kid when my dad recorded it for me.
Oh.
And this was actually on a double bill with Disney's Halloween Treat from 1982. Mm-hmm. And I remember liking this one a lot more than the Halloween Treat because I think this one resonated with me a little bit more. And it's DTV Monsters Hits.
Monsters Hits. Oh, was that like a...
That's when they grabbed a bunch of like pop songs and they created music videos with their vault.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And it's Jeffrey Jones as the man in the mirror.
That's right. Yeah. Man, I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, they have it. It was on YouTube when I found it again. I was like, I'm going to watch this. And it still kind of resonates and it still kind of holds up. And You know, that's something that I would show.
Is the quality okay on YouTube for that one?
So.
Is it kind of fuzzy? Like
No, not fuzzy, but it's clear enough where you can actually see it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but look at the artists they have on here. Yeah, CCR, Rockwell, Michael Jackson, Ray Parker, ELC,
Nice.
Stevie Wonder, Pat Benatar, Daryl Hall.
Those are like all 80s.
You know what I mean? I mean the original air date was 10/30/87.
That was the year I was born, so I was like, what, 2 months old?
I saw this in '92. And around that time, they had rebroadcasted this. They would always air this on Disney's channel.
Yeah.
And they stopped showing it up until '93.
Oh.
My dad recorded it and then he showed it to me. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. I remember liking it a lot. And the music was just really good. And I remember liking every single song on there except the Winnie the Pooh one.
Oh. Winnie the Pooh has a good Halloween episode for kids.
I think, isn't that the one where he trips out, right? And he sees the elephants?
Is it like Piglet's really scared?
Oh no, it's not that one. There's one
okay.
actually on the DTV where Winnie the Pooh has a nightmare and these elephants are like made out of balloons.
Oh, I remember that.
And then
That was trippy.
they're all like in flannel or whatever,
Yeah.
and there's just like he tries to get rid of them, but they multiply, and then they start tormenting Pooh.
Wow, someone was on LSD.
I think
when
that
they wrote
part
that.
reminded me, because I remember seeing that, reminded me of
Dumbo?
Fantasia. Right?
Fantasia has some scary,
Yeah.
scary parts.
That's some scary shit in there.
Yeah.
And so I remember liking everything but that segment. I like that sucks.
How long was the whole thing?
It was an hour.
Okay.
So on TV, it'd be an hour.
On TV.
Yeah,
And then
so
they
it's
did it with the
47
Halloween-
minutes.
Is it Ray Bradbury's Halloween tree?
What do you mean?
Because he wrote the Halloween tree, right? Ray Bradbury, and then they did like it was an animation.
No.
Oh, something else.
I think it was something else.
Oh, okay.
To me, I liked this one a lot, and music was good, and I think it kind of explains my taste in music because it's a wide variety of music,
Nice.
and this introduced me to a lot of those bands that otherwise I would have never known had I not seen that special.
That's cool. I want to watch that. I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah, that's on YouTube right now, and there's actually two. Actually, there's two of them up there.
Okay.
There's one with commercials, which is pretty cool.
I like actually watching those.
And then
It's
there's
like, what was that at that time? you know?
Yeah, and there's another one that's just a special.
It's just the special?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jeffrey Jones in there is kind of creepy.
Huh.
He's pretty fucking creepy in there. Like, seriously, he looks really weird. Despite knowing the legal issues that followed him years later,
I know.
just the kind of indication of, like, thinking
Yeah.
that with that in your mind is like, man, that's pretty fucking
And
creepy
he's
now.
in a lot of Tim Burton stuff too, and it's
Yeah.
like when you watch those like Beetlejuice or Sleepy Hollow, it's like, oh, you know, like now watching it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I feel kind of disgusted
Yeah,
now.
right. Even Ferris Bueller,
Oh, that pulls a whole new spin on that.
right? Yeah, so wrong, but that's a good one. Okay, so I'm gonna take it back to the '90s. Boy Meets World. This one was called And Then There Was Sean. So, as a recap, this actually didn't come out in October. This came out in February. But because it had such a good, kind of like it has like a cult following now, this episode, they would air it or every like October. So, this one is, I don't know if you were a Boy Meets World fan, but this
I was
Okay.
up until they introduced the whole subplot with the brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, I was like, I'm out.
Well, so this was season 5, 1998. Slashers were making a comeback. You had the success of Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. So this episode was a pun on that. It was like a play on that. Even Jennifer Love Hewitt made a cameo on this one.
Oh, really?
So Corey and Topanga are broken up, and Sean like can't get over it. So they're all in class, and they're all like arguing and stuff. So Mr. Feeney says, you guys are going to get detention after class. And then that's when things go wrong. There's like a creepy janitor that comes in. Kenny, who's like one of the other students, gets killed. And then Sean is kind of like Randy from Scream in this. He knows all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so they make it like it's like a murder happens, but they make it comical. So, and it turns out everyone that dies, Sean is the killer because he can't get over like Corey and Topanga's breakup. So the way they did it is like really funny, and there's actually some good scares in there. And like I said, Jennifer Love Hewitt makes a cameo, and it's just a really, really fun, entertaining episode. I watched it the other day, and I was like, man, I miss this show so much. It like
Did you ever watch Girl Meets World?
I tried to like it, but it just wasn't the same for me. I don't know why. Like I was excited for it when it came out, and I was like, I don't know, like it's just not the same. And then they try to make like her friend like the female version of Sean, but you just can't.
You can't force that.
You can't force it, and it's so nostalgic. And I don't think this like they only lasted 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, no, 3 seasons. And I think the red flag for me is when they were airing it on the Disney Channel.
Yeah,
I was like, nope, that's a failure right there.
I mean, the show is just so iconic, and I don't know. It's really hard to bring things back. Well, I'll get into that when I talk about one of my other Halloween things, but yeah, you just can't always
can't replicate it.
Yeah, you can't always replicate it, but I think you'd like this episode because it makes fun of like the slasher genre. So you can probably find it on YouTube. I know like Hulu has it, I think. But yeah, check it out. Season 5. And then there was Sean.
Yeah, I checked out after I think about season 4. That's when they started introducing the brothers.
The brother with Sean,
and then they start to live together and stuff, and it's like, I'm
become
out.
like roommates.
And then to me, it was like it got a little too serious for me. It's like the first few seasons were pretty funny because it was pretty much about him, growing up in the world, which I understand what the title is, like Boy Meets World, duh. So, so that's for me number 4. I'm gonna go Bob's Burgers. Fortnite.
Oh, that's a funny one.
So
what's the crazy girl's name?
Oh, god damn it.
Who's obsessed with Louise?
Yeah, I can't remember.
What's her name?
I can't remember her name.
Oh man.
Why would we want to dress up as rabbits? No, why would you want to dress up as a rabbit and me be a mothball?
Yeah, she's crazy, that girl. I want to say the person that does her voice is someone famous too.
Let's see.
Bob's Burgers, Fortnite.
Who can get there first?
I know, right? Who's Wi-Fi? Let's see. That was episode number 2. Air date October 6th, 2013. Man, what is her name? Millie? Oh, it's Molly Shannon. Okay, so Molly Shannon does the voice of Millie. Millie's like crazy.
So Millie's obsessed with Louise for whatever reason, and wants to dress like her. And the whole entire episode, she's dressed not dressed like her, but she's dressed as a bunny. Yeah, with the bunny ears and stuff.
The pink, yeah.
And to me, this is one of those episodes that kind of elevated Bob's Burgers for me, just as in Halloween, because the second episode was just so good, and then the fact of them like trapped inside their little fort. And Millie was like, fucking with them. I was like, hey, look, I'll let you out. All you gotta do is just hang out with me. Luis is stubborn as a motherfucker.
And Daryl's like there too, right? Daryl and then the twins are there.
The twins are there.
Yeah, so everyone's like stuck there. And then where's Bob and Linda? I forget.
Bob and Linda are at the burger house, fixing their costume. Because remember the Luis's scheme is they're going to dress up as a dragon
thing? That's right. Yeah.
It's like we're going to get triple candy.
Yeah.
And so Daryl had a map. It's like, look, these are the houses that you need to hit.
Daryl. Yeah, that was a funny one.
Yeah, I really liked Fortnite, and I thought that was a really good episode. And Millie is someone that's been a thorn in Luis's side in a few episodes. Mm-hmm. And I thought too that's a really good equal for Luis to battle with, battle wills. I thought that was a really good interesting battle between the two of them.
Yeah, that one was funny. All right, so my other one, also taking it back to the 90s, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which just got remade, and I think it's premiering today on Netflix.
Yeah,
but this was out, actually. This was the funny Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So she had a lot of great Halloween episodes. So I'll talk about 2 of them. The first one was from season 1, and that was called A Halloween Story. So this one, Sabrina's invited to Harvey's Halloween party, but her aunts don't want her to go because they have a Halloween party that they go to in the other realm, like their relatives and stuff. So Sabrina gets all like annoyed because she's really into Harvey at this point. And Salem, little black cat Salem, says, why don't you do a spell to make you a double? Like, you can make a clone out of yourself so you can be at both parties at once. So she does that, but you can't take your double to the outer realm. You can only use your double in the mortal world or whatever. So the double stays at Harvey's party, and then Sabrina ends up going to the other realm party. But I like this one because at the end there's like a good lesson. It shows like you don't need to go to a high school party to enjoy Halloween. She ends up she gets like a gift for Halloween. So the aunts give her a gift. Well, there's anyone deceased, you can, dead or alive, you can have a night with. So she is like, oh, okay, who would I want to see? So she ends up seeing like her grandmother that passed away. And then she gets into like how Halloween is actually a day where you're meant to think about like your ancestors and your relatives and those who are no longer there with you. So I just thought it was like a nice episode and like a nice lesson, because that's like what Halloween, Samhain, Samhain, that's what it's all about. So that was a good one. And then another one I liked was from season 2, and that was called A River of Candy Corn Runs Through It. This one's hilarious because she gets stuck trying to throw a Halloween party at her house, but she's freaking out because her house is not normal at all. Like they just get new furniture, and it's talking furniture, and the candy corn like explodes. There's like demons that end up coming to the party. But all the mortals think it's like she hired all these things to happen. So they all go with it like, man, Sabrina throws the greatest party. So, yeah, that one was just hilarious. Everything goes wrong, but it ends up like working in her favor. So that was a good one. And they had a bunch of other ones too throughout the seasons, but those two like were my favorite out of all of them.
I don't think I ever seen any of those.
They're on Amazon. You can check it out.
Are they?
Yeah.
I watched Sabrina Teenage Witch like for a few episodes, and I don't know why I never came back to it. I like Melissa. No, I like the show. I like the show. I thought it was really hilarious. I think it was just on at a very odd time for me because it was on on a weird day.
It wasn't part of TGIF?
And that was later.
Oh, okay.
When it first aired, I remember it being in like the beginning of the week. In the beginning of the week, that was Simpsons time. Oh. Simpsons used to air like on Thursday or Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I remember I would watch The Simpsons rather than anything else.
That was like your thing. Yeah.
So The Simpsons to me, speaking of which...
nice segue.
Yeah, right? Speaking of which, I'm going to go with The Simpsons. And I had a hard time trying to narrow down.
A lot of
which
stuff.
ones, but I still maintain this to this day, and I'll argue with anyone that after 9, the Treehouse peaked.
Yeah.
I don't think they went as far as they could have gone. Now, if you watch like the very first 8 of those, the very first 8 episodes, there's a lot of good shit in there. There's a lot of good segments in there, and I actually have 2 on here, but I'm gonna use those 2 as my 3 and 2 placement. Treehouse of Horror 4. And this one had the Devil and Homer Simpson, Terror at 5.5 Feet, and Bart Simpson's Dracula.
Oh, nice.
So the Devil and Homer Simpson is where Homer wants to sell his soul to get a donut. So Ned Flanders comes up dressed up as the devil.
Wow.
And it's funny too because the showrunners are like, you know what? We wanted someone that you didn't expect to be the devil. So that's why we have Ned Flanders. And, I got to commend like the voice actor for playing Ned Flanders that dark, but still maintaining character.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And then they take him to trial because Homer Simpson tried to outsmart the devil. But then he's all, well, I ate it, so what? And then Lisa's all, wait, doesn't my dad have a right to fair trial? And so he's like, fine, we'll be here tomorrow. He shows up and the devil picks the grand jury of like a bunch of serial killers and Richard Nixon.
What the hell?
And the next one is a parody of Terror at 20,000 Feet, the Twilight Zone episode.
Was that early 90s?
That was 1980. This is the original one with William Shatner.
Oh, nice. Okay. I haven't seen that in a
this
while.
is the one where he sees a goblin on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically they do
episode.
the same thing here with Bart Simpson seeing the little goblin on the bus and is fucking shredding it. And then Bram Stoker's Dracula had just hit theaters the year before.
Uh-huh.
So it's only right that, the Simpsons are going to parody that.
Of course.
Bart Simpson's Dracula, which is, in its name. Duh. But then there's also a lot of homages to Lost Boys and Salem's Lot into it. I remember liking this one a lot, thinking that this was very scary as a kid.
I could see that, like, as a little kid.
Because when I watched this as a kid, I was like, holy shit, this is pretty scary. And I love the fact that they had the wraparound with Bart Simpson introducing each story. I thought that was really good. To me, I thought, I don't know. I really like Treehouse of Horror Part 4 more than the others.
More than the others, huh?
Yeah, but 5, though, has some really good segments, though.
What's the one that Sideshow Bob... Those are, like, my favorite. The Halloween ones with Sideshow Bob.
Well, he didn't come by... He didn't go... He wasn't established into that continuity till later.
Oh, so those are, like
way later.
Oh, okay.
Way later.
I liked those, though. He was creepy.
Yeah, he was good. There was an episode that I watched yesterday, actually. I think it was 15, where, which is pretty cool because it was like a Reanimator
Nice.
parody. He finally killed Bart, and he's like, "Oh, I got no one to. I got nothing now. Like, what am I gonna do?"
Like, I've got all this free time now.
And so he's like, "You know what?" So he grabs Bart and rips out his intestines and ties him on his back. Walks down to the basement. He's like, you know what? I'm going to bring you back to life. He brings him back to life and only to kill him again. It's like, oh, yeah, no. I don't like how that sounded. I'm going to use the pan instead. Hits the lever, brings him back, and then boom. It's like, oh, yeah, I don't like how that made a dent on your head. I'm going to bring you back and hit you with an axe instead. And so he keeps doing this throughout the whole episode, and then he's like not satisfied. And then Lisa finally figures out what's going on, and then they thwart his plan.
Of course, Lisa. She's the smartest.
Yeah, right? But 5 has some really good ones. The Shining parody, Time and Punishment,
I like that one. That one was
and
good.
Nightmare Cafeteria, which I thought was pretty good. Yeah, so to me, I think 4 is probably the best one, honestly. 5 is up there too, but I don't know. To me, 4 was just more impactful to me because I think 4 scared me a little bit more.
So, because you were, like, really little when you watched.
Yeah, this came out in 93, so I was about, 8, 7?
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
And The Simpsons is the longest
Running.
running show. It's crazy, like, how many seasons there are of this.
Yeah. And then next year, I'm going to tune in next year because next year's Treehouse of Horror is going to be the 666
666
episode.
They better do, like, a Satan thing, then.
I hope they go old school and, like, channel some of the old Treehouse of Horror.
That'd be cool. Take it back, yeah.
Because the old Treehouse of Horror, they were actually creepy and scary.
Yeah. Then it got kind of, like, cheesy after that, I feel.
It did because they stopped parodying horror movies. Then they started parodying, like, blockbuster movies like Transformers and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, once I knew they started doing that, I was like, oh.
You're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So that's my number 4.
Okay.
No, number 3.
Number 3. I'm taking it back to just like a classic. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Just because this one it's on every single year, and I love Charlie Brown. I want to keep Charlie Brown going, and I just think there's so many great things about this episode. Like they really question a lot for little kids in this. Like they question religion, they question philosophy, politics. And when you're a little kid, you don't really get that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get old, you realize, oh no, like this is really about this. So I just
always like that, even in his comic strip.
Even in the comic
Schultz
strip,
is
yeah.
always like that.
Schultz always
He's,
did that kind of stuff. Yeah.
In fact, I think I was just reading recently that he introduced the African American character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some controversy about, and he did it on
Like
purpose.
back then it was, or
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, he really kind of pushed it in a very subtle way.
Yeah.
So, and I like knowing that now, but like when you're a little kid, it's just cute because it's animation and it's Halloween. But like, no, there's like there's a deeper story there.
It's
Linus
almost
is
like
a
it's
serial
good
killer.
Prepping too for being more open-minded.
For sure.
Even if you don't get it as a kid, like
For
being
sure.
introduced to things.
Yeah.
I think what it is like belief, though.
Yeah, it's all about belief, right? Because it's the Great Pumpkin's like Linus's version of Santa Claus,
Yeah.
you know. But it's just really it's taking all the serious stuff away. It's just cute, and I love the soundtrack. I always like listening to the soundtrack this time of year, and it gets you in the mood for like the upcoming holidays because they do a Thanksgiving episode and they do a Christmas episode, so it just kind of gets you in that vibe, like, oh yeah, I'm ready to kickstart like the holiday season. So that's always a classic, and I like to watch it.
You know, I used to like that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, I watched it. It's like, I'm not a big fan of Charlie Brown anymore.
You aren't?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. There's just something about it. I just don't like Charlie Brown.
Why? Because you watched like Robot Chicken and they make fun of Charlie Brown.
No, it was before
Just
that.
kidding.
It was just. I think the thing is that, you know, I felt like Charlie Brown was always someone that was bullied.
He was bullied.
Yeah, and
Everybody
so-
picked on him.
And so I think, and then he never kind of stood up for himself, and then he always lived in his own world. And to me,
He was
growing,
depressed.
yeah, and so to me, growing up, you know, picking up on that, because myself being bullied as through my teenage years, and seeing that, it's like, oh man, I don't like this as much, because now he's not someone he's someone that I could relate to a little too close to home.
Oh.
But it's like, you know what? I can't watch those anymore, because then I feel like, oh man, this sucks. Like, I'm not gonna laugh at a kid getting picked on because, you know, I was there. Like, I know how Brown felt in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, and so watching The Great Pumpkin, to me, it's like, I don't know, like,
He's not as into it anymore.
and not into it anymore. I do like Linus's storyline.
Yeah.
With The Great Pumpkin, him sitting there at the pumpkin patch waiting for him. I do like that. And the payoff at the end is kind of funny. Where he sees this, I knew you'd come. And then
Yeah,
it turns
and
out to be it's Snoopy.
Yeah. Sally, though, is my favorite because she's like all in love with Linus. She goes, "You made me wait here," with like her little girl voice. And then what I think Linus said something like, "Never mess with the woman that doesn't get her trick or treats," or so. I don't know. He said something like that, and it just cracks me up every time. But I just like it because I really like the animation.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's not perfect. Today's animation is so different. So it brings back like that old school animation for me, and it brings back just like another nostalgia factor. So I don't know, and I know they released the Charlie Brown movie a couple years ago, but it just wasn't the same.
And I think it was in
No.
3D too, right?
Yeah.
It was like computer animation.
Yeah. So
I
don't
tried
know.
to watch the Garfield Halloween special.
I love that one.
I couldn't get through it.
Really?
Yeah,
It's so funny.
Once he started singing, I was out.
But is that the pirate one?
Yeah.
That one's funny just because I have cats, and to me, Garfield is the ultimate cat, right? Like just
I don't know about that.
everybody.
Heathcliff is ultimate cat.
But he
Oh
just
my
like
gosh, I loved Garfield.
he uses everybody. He's
Heathcliff.
lazy. He just reminds me of my cats. Like if they could talk, my cats would be bitchier, obviously, but they would just use me to get like candy, and I don't know. I liked the Garfield one. That was cute.
Once he
But-
started singing, I was like, nope, out.
I'm out.
Out.
Dance show tunes.
I think that's the problem with Disney movies too that I fucking hate is that every fucking 5 minutes you need to have a song about something.
You wouldn't like La La Land then.
I wouldn't watch La La Land to begin with.
I love La La Land. I never cried so much.
I mean,
Oh my God.
don't get me wrong. I like Crybaby. I like Grease.
Well, that's
I like
John
Little
Waters,
Shop.
though.
I like Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, I do like those, but they gotta
Rocky
resonate
Horror.
with me. You know, I feel like with Disney cartoons though, they break in the song about any little fucking thing.
But
oh,
they're
that
for
teacup.
they're
Let's
for kids,
let's sing
though.
about the teacup.
But you have to remember this is for kids.
Yeah, well, even when I was a kid, I was like, ugh, I hate this.
I was totally into it. I'm like,
It's
show
like-
tunes it up.
It's like Lion King. Like every fucking 5 minutes, there was a fucking song. Like,
But
ugh.
they're they're redoing Lion King.
Yeah, live action.
And
Which
Aladdin.
would no music, so
What?
yeah.
That's gonna blow. You need music.
No.
You need music.
No,
it's
you
Disney.
don't.
Anyway, we're digressing. But
No.
I have someone prank texting me right now. I just wanted to like get this on air because I don't know who this is, but I'm messing with them now, and I'm like, "Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie?" And they're saying they're like a 15-year-old boy, and I'm like, "I think you have the wrong number." So I'm like having fun with this on the side right now.
Oh wow.
The Terrifier. Oh, that's a good. Wow, that's a good one. Okay, this little kid has like good taste. Sorry, I just thought I wanted to say that because we're doing like a Halloween thing.
It turns out to be your husband.
It probably is. He's probably just messing with
So I'll
me.
say, like 15-year-old boys.
Okay, so I did The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. What's
Alright,
what's
so-
yours?
So my number 2, this is kind of a tough one because I was trying not to go light all the way. I wanted some mature content on there at least. And I went back and watched a couple of AHS's Halloween shows.
I did that last week too.
And I remember liking Devil's Night a lot when it first aired.
Was that the first season?
That was a hotel.
Oh, see, that was the worst season in my opinion.
It was.
But that episode was good because it's all the serial killers.
Okay, so I remember liking that episode a lot, but what I didn't remember was how little that subplot was.
Yeah. They're not in it, like, that's it.
Yeah, and I kind of wish if it was a little bit longer, I think that would have been a little bit better.
I wanted
Because
more Marsh, right? Like,
Yeah.
I wanted more of him because that's such a cool concept to have. And it's based on a true story to have a hotel of torture. But they made it like Lady Gaga, and I just was
And her
not...
vampirism.
I was not into that season. I thought that was the worst season, actually.
Yeah, and it kind of did have it didn't have like a very good ending. I remember liking Roanoke a lot, and Roanoke Nightmare, I think to me, controversial opinion, is my favorite season.
Interesting. Yeah, and I don't know. But the whole, like, I love the killer, like, having dinner. The killer's, like, the guy that plays Jeffrey Dahmer is great. They had Eileen, the serial killer. They had the Zodiac killer. Like, I wanted that to be all of Hotel, because it is such a cool concept, but it didn't deliver.
Yeah, but then when it wraps around at the end, you realize why Lo was there in the first place.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, oh, that's why. But I couldn't find a Halloween episode that I actually liked.
Did you watch Freak Show season?
I can't watch that. I can't watch that
Really?
season.
That's my favorite season.
That season is terrible.
No, it's the best. Oh my god, that
It's
was the last
terrible.
one with Jessica Lange. Dandy is hilarious because he's so spoiled and he's like all buff and like American Psycho, and then you have like the two-headed twins. That was such a good season. They did a good Halloween special for that because Dandy's trying to kill and he's like, "You ruined my Halloween! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!" And then the first season had a good Halloween special because
It was a two-parter.
You find out Tate was like a high school shooter.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other.
And I can't.
Did Coven do a Halloween season?
Yeah, they did a Halloween special. I heard Apocalypse, the one that they just aired, was a really good special.
Damn, see, I'm behind on that.
And so am I about like.
But that ties in the first season and Coven.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Tate's baby. That's
Yeah.
the Antichrist or whatever. So yeah, and Stevie Nicks makes
A
another
return.
cameo. Yeah.
And so I tried to do that, and I went to Criminal Minds because Criminal Minds also has some really good Halloween episodes.
That's a good show.
And so I was like, I can't find anything. So I kind of went old school and went with Tales from the Crypt, only
Nice.
skin deep.
Was that the which one was that?
So this is the one. This is season 6. This is the one where they moved the series from LA to London.
Oh, okay.
And this episode takes place. Well, it takes place on Halloween night. The very first 10 minutes. It's a Halloween party. There's this man who's abusive. and he meets this woman at a Halloween party.
Oh, she's got the mask on.
She got the mask, and she's like,
yeah.
don't take off the mask.
Yeah,
don't do that.
It's a creepy one.
And I remember watching this, and I was like, fucking hell, this is pretty fucking awesome.
Her mask is creepy, too.
Yeah, then when it's revealed at the end, it's just...
Yeah, and they're in that, like, apartment that has, like, nothing.
I don't even think it's an apartment. I think it's just
like a loft?
Fucking warehouse.
But it's, like, all broken down and shit.
Yeah. And I remember watching that, and I was like, oh, shit, this is pretty good. Oh. And then I liked how she turned it on him, where it was like, oh, you want to beat me? Go ahead, do it. Mm-hmm. You know you want to. And then he's like, no, I don't want to do that. You're fucking crazy. And then she starts fucking with him throughout the whole episode, and I thought that was a really good episode. To me, in their later seasons, I think that is one of their best ones. Yeah. And that one actually aired on Halloween night.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. On
I
HBO.
I missed that show so much.
Yeah, and then they're doing a Creep Show.
I know, I heard.
That's as a series.
Yeah, wasn't it the guy? It's what's his name? From Walking Dead is doing it.
Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, Nicotero. Yeah.
So it should be good. I mean, he's gonna be behind the special effects.
I think it's cool. Yeah, I'm open to it for sure. Like, I want to know what stories they're gonna do, and
I am curious to see how they would tackle it, because I don't remember Creep Show having a Crypt Keeper.
It didn't. Creepshow 2 had the comic Crypt Keeper kind of guy, which was Tom Savini, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna and then Creepshow 3 was just bad. Oh my god.
I didn't even watch that.
It's so bad.
I didn't even know they released that till like years later.
Yeah, so.
But that's my number 2 Tales from the Crypt, only skin deep.
Okay. So my last one is Roseanne. I know she's getting a lot of hate right now because of all the drama, but take this with a grain of salt.
I mean, you gotta admit, she did have like the second best Halloween
episodes. Yeah, this is me in the 90s, like growing up. So give me a break. I don't want to hear any politics about this, but so I'll share with you the ones I love. And she's a huge horror fan, like a hard like. She wanted to be in Nightmare on Elm Street so bad, so they finally gave her a little cameo in the 6th one, Freddy's Dead. But so I'll just say she's a huge Halloween fan. So my favorite ones are, it's called Boo, and that was season 2, because they didn't do one in season 1, no. So they started doing their Halloween ones in season 2. And this one's great. This really shows you like how the Connors love Halloween. And just the competition that goes on, like between her and Dan, and
the master.
The master, yeah. He's like, Jackie, will you set her police? But no, it's just great because like it just gets you into that Halloween spirit of the 90s, and like it takes you back. If you were alive back then, it takes you back to like then and what the costumes were, like what was on TV. So. And that's just great because she dresses up as like the Wicked Witch of the Midwest, and Dan's trying to get a new job, and he goes, he might stop by the house later, and then he shows up, and then her and Roseanne play a trick on him, and it's just great. Like, it's just such a fun episode. And then another one I really liked was called Trick or Treat. This was the second Halloween episode for the series. And this one is so freaking funny. So Dan dresses up as like the Three Stooges, and Becky is like a half bloody prom queen, and then Darlene has like a hoodie on, but she has like the little alien like pop out thing through her stomach. That to me, this episode had like the best costumes. So that one was really funny. And then Roseanne dresses up as a kind of like a trucker guy, and she looks like a legit dude.
Yeah,
like,
she does.
They gave her the face. They didn't mess around with the costumes on this. They gave her facial hair, like a wig and everything. And this one kind of like, it wasn't a battle of the sexes, but it had like a point because DJ, their son, wants to dress up as a witch, and Dan is not having it. He's like, witches are for girls, and she's like, Dan, this is the 90s, witches are women. She's like, he can be whatever he wants to be. So then because of that, Roseanne decides to dress up as a guy, and then her and Jackie get stuck at a bar because they have car trouble, and she decides to hang out with like the other guys at the bar, and all they're talking about is sex, and she's totally messing with the guy too. Like, why would she want to have sex with you if she's got if she's got like a suitcase full of sex toys?
Yeah.
You know? She's totally messing with this guy. And then he ends up wanting to like kick the shit out of her because he thinks she's really a guy. And then Dan shows up to save the day, and he's like, "Hey, leave him alone." He goes, "Oh yeah, why? Because he's my husband." And then he's like, "Do you want to mess with me?" You know. So this one was just like, I don't know, super fun, great costumes.
It was great too because then
Yeah.
she actually uses the men's restroom.
Yeah, she's
It's
like, "God, it stinks in
She's
here."
like, Jackie, they have this thing where they stand up and pee in? What is that?
Yeah, it's super fun, and she had a bunch of other good ones too. But I would say like those two were my favorite ones for sure.
You know the one where they introduced the pain in the ass neighbor.
Oh yeah, her annoying neighbor.
Yeah, and then they scared her.
Yeah,
really bad.
She's like, "Your wife is insane."
So later, Jer. Bye, Dan. I think Roseanne has some of the best ones. I even posted on a poll where it was like, who had the better Halloween specials?
Yeah.
Simpsons, Roseanne, Home Improvement.
Oh, Home Improvement had some
and
good ones.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And The Simpsons won by a fucking landslide.
Really?
Roseanne came in a close second, but The Simpsons won by a landslide. And I think it's because of like those first, and again, I think it's because of those first 6.
Yeah.
Are just so iconic. And I
Yeah.
think with Roseanne, it's like I think Boo is not iconic in the way that it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I think again now today people, because of the things that are going on, but
I mean, but even then though, like despite all that, I think even then I don't think that, even though Roseanne was one of the most highest rated shows of that time next to The Simpsons, I think the reason The Simpsons have an edge on their specials is because they could do a lot more and get away with more.
do you think it's also because their animation and then...
Yeah, that was the point.
Yeah.
And I think too it was because they were on Fox too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, at that time Fox was a renegade network.
Yeah.
You know, they had Married with Children, Herman's Head. They took chances on shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know they actually spoke to a generation like us, whereas ABC was kind of more family friendly.
Yeah.
And
they
I
kind of
think,
pushed the bar a little bit.
yeah, and I think the Roseanne Halloween specials are not as iconic as they should be because I don't think they ever had a great moment.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn because it's like I was never hardcore into The Simpsons. Like I like it, I just wasn't like obsessed with it like a lot of my friends were. So I don't know. I think it depends like what you're into. You know, if you're into the animation or if you're into like the live.
Yeah, but
audience
even
kind of
that
stuff.
though, I was just like I'm saying, like I don't. To me, I'm a fan of both. But to me, I don't think Roseanne had like a real iconic moment for their Halloween specials. What I'm trying to say. You know,
to each his own.
I mean, can you say one iconic moment from their specials?
Yeah, when she's doing the haunted house thing in her house, and then people come through and
Yeah,
put
but
Jackie under the table.
People are I don't think that's iconic level though.
I think I don't know because I mean they showed it all the time like growing up, like every year they would rehash up the episodes, so it just kind of like stuck with me. So I would say those truly were, you know, I think The Simpsons was kind of more kiddie, and because it is animation, you had that stigma. So I don't know. I think it holds up, and I think it's iconic.
Well, it's not. I don't say it's not holding up. I'm just saying.
I think
I don't know
sticks
if
out.
they're. I don't know if they're on the level though. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the first two were because after that they weren't as good as the early ones. So I think like the earlier seasons had ones that truly like stuck out. You know,
Right.
like I think it's just a preference, really. You know, it's a matter of opinion.
In my opinion, is right.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Spoken like a true Aries.
my
So
number
what's your
one
number one?
is man, this is a tough one because I wanted to go with both of these. It's Tales from the Dark Side.
Ooh, it's a good one.
So I think
Was that Trick or Treat?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
The-
a scary
the pilot?
episode.
the pilot episode which
Yeah.
aired as a
I
one-off.
told you to watch that one.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm like, that one's freaky.
I saw that somewhere else. I wasn't sure if that was you or someone else.
I remember telling you about it. The witch is like really creepy looking.
The witch is fucking insane.
And her laugh.
So, Trick or Treat is about a man who hides IOUs from everyone in town in this haunted house, and he makes the kids go in there and says, if you find the IOUs,
Your parents' debt.
Your debt
is
is cleared.
It's really fucked up, actually.
That is kind of fucked up.
Like, to make a little kid do that for their parents? I don't know, man.
And it's kind of fucked up, too, because then you see, like, you know, the repercussions of it. Of that one kid, because his dad is forcing him to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
and then,
I'm scared.
You know, the kid tries to do it, but then he's like, it's okay, son. We can go. So, I watched this for the first time this week, and holy shit, this is... Wow.
It's scary. Like, I think it still holds up just because she's really creepy.
Oh, dude, yeah. When she opens...
Her eyes and, like, the makeup.
When he opens that door and you see that face, it's like, holy shit. That's a lot scarier than the Wicked Witch of the West.
It totally is. And I watched that by myself, and I was like, ugh. Like, I don't know, like I said, women creep me out. So, she just, like... I don't know what it is about the makeup they did on her and her voice and everything, but... Yeah, that episode still holds up.
Yeah, that's a really good episode, and it was written by George Romero.
Yeah, which is another bonus.
Yeah, and you know, at the end, the guy gets his comeuppance. Yeah. And he actually goes to hell. Yeah. Which is, I thought was like a real nice touch.
And then she like flies away, and then like all the money.
All the money and the IOUs are starting to fly, and I was like, oh, nice. Yeah. And then the kid walks by, and you see the gravestone of the guy. Yeah. And I thought that was like a nice touch.
But it's funny too, because like the old guy in this gets off on scaring the kids, which is hilarious. I'm like, that's gonna be me when I'm like 80 if I make it to that age. But he totally gets off on scaring them. And it's funny because, like, speaking of this, I was talking to my husband the other day. I was like, do you remember when we were little kids, like, your neighborhood, they actually did haunted houses and you actually went inside? I feel like today...
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore because of all the creepy shit in the world. And it saddens me because I miss that, you know?
Yeah, I remember growing up, there used to be, like, haunted houses.
Yeah, you would walk into, like, the little entryway. You wouldn't go upstairs or anything. It'd be, like, the first level, like, depending the size of the house. But, like, I don't know, like, it was just fun. Like, I miss that.
Especially around this area, too, because there's really no more haunts around this area anymore, which sucks. No. And so that was one of them. And the other one was Halloween Candy. Oh, which aired in...
That was later, right?
Yeah, season 2, 1985. 1985. And that one was directed by Tom Savini. Nice. And so when I watched this episode, I wonder if Trick or Treat got the idea from this episode. Huh. The whole idea of the troll tormenting the old man. Yeah. And then, you know, you have Sam tormenting the other old man. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, too, because there's parallels. Mm-hmm. They're both injured. And they're both old. They're both cranky.
They're both old.
They both hate Halloween. Yeah. They both don't want to give out candy.
Yeah, they're too cheap.
And so I wonder if Micah Doherty saw this episode as a kid. He's like, you know what? I wanna do that.
Probably. Yeah, definitely an influence, I think.
And so, and I remember, and that troll was fucking creepy. Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
I haven't seen that one in a while. I should rewatch that.
That's a really good one. So the whole thing is that his old man hates Halloween, and his house always gets egged because he doesn't give out candy. Yeah. And then his son is there saying, well, if you give them candy, they won't egg your fucking house. Duh. He's like, no, I don't care. I'm going to fucking just stay here. So the kid, his son buys them a bag of candy. So like, just give them to them. Yeah. And then when he leaves, he makes a note, says, I'll be by tomorrow with groceries because you only have eggs and ham and milk or something like that.
Johnny has a ghost in his lungs.
Yeah.
He's got a ghost.
And so there's this one kid that comes up, opens, and says, trick or treat. He slams the door on him, and then he gets another knock. He's like, did you just change your mask? It looks like the same kid that it looked like he really did just change his mask. Yeah. He's like, fine. And so what he does is gets the bowl, covers it in like glue and honey, and then just dumps it in his fucking bag. He's like, all right, go away. I was like, God damn, that's pretty mean, man.
That is pretty savage.
And then you just ruined that kid's fucking candy. On top of that. So he gets his comeuppance when the troll comes in. Says trick or treat, and throughout the whole night, he's fucking with them. And it's funny because once the watch breaks, it stays at midnight.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Forgot about that.
And so, like, time froze.
Yeah.
And so, like, everything is 12:01 or 12 o'clock or something like that. And then when he's discovered in the morning, like, the night after, he's dead.
He's dead. Ding dong. Man, that
God
ghost.
damn it.
Ghost
Yeah.
in the lungs.
I hate this.
Need some water?
I'm alright right now. Alright, well, that's my number one. Tales from the Dark Side Halloween episodes.
Nice. Did you get a chance to watch the Goldbergs?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
I'm kind of let down. So
I mean, what'd you expect? Of course, he was only going to be in there for
he's literally in it for like 30 seconds.
Well, obviously.
Literally like 30 seconds.
He wasn't going to be in the whole episode.
I know, but I was just kind of... And his makeup wasn't that great. Like, you can see his eyelid... Or his, like, the under eye part. And it was just... It was just, you know?
So
like,
what'd you expect? What'd you want?
I wanted... Because the whole thing is, like, their son rents Nightmare on Elm Street. And he's really scared to watch it. But he ends up watching it. And he ends up having, like, nightmares. But then the mom is, like, attached to him. So the mom is the one that confronts Freddy. So, I don't know. I was just kind of let down with it. I was like, really? Like, this is... Because they marketed it so much. Like, oh, if you're a horror fan, you got to check this out. I mean, I'm not saying it was horrible or anything. I'm just saying, like, I wanted more Freddy. You know, because this is him out of retirement. You know? So...
Yeah, I think he doesn't even do makeup for conventions anymore.
No. He just shows up as, you know, as himself over in England. So...
Which is fine.
Which is great. Like, I love him, but I want Freddy. You know? But, so yeah, I checked that out on Wednesday, and, yeah, I was just kind of like, it could have been better, but...
Have you watched the History of Horror yet?
No, I didn't get to check that out. I've just been kind of watching other ones, like Curb Your Enthusiasm has a good Halloween episode. I don't know if you're into that show, but...
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's so freaking funny, like... Something happens and they try to egg his house, but then they write, like, bald asshole on his door, and he goes, that's a hate crime! So that one's really funny. I love Larry David because he just bitches about everything. But
the real life George Costanza.
I know, I love him. But so I've just been catching up on things like that, and yeah, I can't believe Halloween is like a couple days away. This is crazy. It's my favorite time of year, and I just feel like it goes by so fast.
I know, it's my favorite time of the year, and I'm sick.
I know, you're sick. That sucks. Go ahead, our producer, Miss Moist, our producer, has a question. Whose birthday is coming up, and I just want to wish her very happy birthday.
Thank you. Yay, Scorpio.
Scorpio season. So, what is your question?
So, if your picks are in no particular order, why not just count from 1 to 5? Why count from 5 to 1?
He's like, I don't give a shit about that.
Because when you do it that way, it gives the impression of like there's going to be some reveal of like the number 1. But really, if they're in no order, why not just go, so my first pick.
Yeah, you couldn't just fucking ask that off air?
Well, I was thinking about that when I was listening. I'm like, why the countdown?
Well, weren't one of us going to die? Are we still doing
I
that?
was waiting for.
No, I'm not feeling up to it, so I can't perform at a high level.
Okay. Johnny, the boogeyman's not.
Wait, we're gonna have to edit that out because we should do it on the next episode.
Okay. Well, I'll just state Johnny as under the weather, but we're toughing this out today.
Although you can't tell because he's always the grouchy Aries.
Should be Groucho Marx for Halloween. Just kidding.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
No mean one.
Oh, speaking of the Grinch, you ever see Grinch Halloween episode?
There's a Grinch Halloween episode?
Yeah. This is Grinch night. It's a Halloween episode.
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's like red.
What?
Yeah, you can get it on YouTube. Halloween is Grinch night. Yeah, check it out.
I never seen that. Is that old?
Yeah, I think it was 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Or 70s, 80s. Wasn't the best, but
No.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, definitely worth a watch. You know, I love the Grinch, so I love Dr. Seuss. But yeah, Halloween is Grinch night. It's funny because if you just go to YouTube and you type in like old school Halloween stuff, like a bunch comes up. And one of my favorites that I didn't list is The Adventures of Ichabod.
Oh yeah,
The original Sleepy Hollow.
I honestly thought
with
you
Mr.
were gonna
Toad.
put that on. That's why I didn't put it on there.
But I count that more as like a movie. I don't know why.
But it aired on TV though.
It did, and it's with Mr.
and I said
Adventures of Mr.
on
Toad.
TV or streaming.
But
so.
it's such a long one. Like you can't find it by itself. It's with Mr. Toad, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or whatever. So it's like an hour long. So I guess that's why. I didn't include it.
I mean, the one when I watched it on TV was always the Ichabod Crane.
Oh, because now it's Adventures of Mr. Toad and then Ichabod.
Well, it is now, but I remember
Yeah.
back then they used to air it
Disney
solo.
Channel used to air it. I think.
Yeah, as a half hour.
Yeah, but that's a really good one too. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. And
Elvira has some really good
Elvira,
ones.
yeah. How could you go wrong with Elvira? But,
I remember she was a big staple in the 90s when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I remember that I think she was one of the front runners of like Monsters the Gridiron or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember. Like they got all the football players and they dressed them up as monsters and stuff.
That's funny.
Of like Universal monsters and
Yeah.
stuff. And I remember Elvira being part of that promotion, and we used to be on like Doritos and Pepsi commercials and shit like
She
that.
was big.
Yeah, in the
Back
90s she
then.
was really big, and she had her movie, which I've never seen. I never
You
seen
haven't
the movie.
seen it?
I never
She's
seen
had a
the movie.
couple. Yeah, I was really young when she was like really famous, but I got into her when I became older as Vampira because I know Vampira was like the original. But yeah, I love Elvira. She's I just love her because she has like her Valley Girl voice and her Valley Girl jokes, but she dresses like gothic. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that combination. And she's a Virgo too. But yeah, Elvira. My husband loves her, but I think he loves her for another reason.
With those double D's.
That cleavage. But yeah, she had some good ones. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to I want to get into like modern day Halloween episodes, but it's hard because I feel like a lot of them they're not as exciting as like, I don't know, maybe it's because of the nostalgic factor.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
and on top of that, I don't think a lot of them go. They don't go as far as they should.
Yeah, but Modern
or as
Family,
they can go.
Modern Family had some funny ones. They had some good ones, but yeah, the Goldbergs. I don't know. I was just like kind of let down.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia had a really good one.
Oh, they have good
And
ones.
I was almost gonna go on my list, but I haven't revisited it since. But it's called Who Got Dee Pregnant, and they're at a Halloween party at their pub, and it's revealed that Dee's pregnant. And the brother and Charlie and Mac, they're all investigating who got her pregnant. And that's pretty funny, and the reveal at the end is fucking so hilarious.
Oh, I gotta check that
If
out.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're funny.
And then Inside Number 9, you ever watch that?
No,
You never watched that show?
no.
They're actually having a Halloween special this Sunday, actually. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, if you have a Hulu, definitely watch
Hulu.
Inside Number 9. That's they had this great episode where like there's no talking. It's literally silent, but it is the funniest shit you will ever see. It is so funny. There's literally not a single word of dialogue in this episode, except for the end.
Is it a half hour?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a really good episode.
Yeah, the Goldbergs, because it's a half an hour show, but it's on TV, so it's literally like a 10-minute episode because of all the commercials. So I'm like, really? Like, that was kind of a letdown. But yeah, I want to check out some other, like Home Improvement. I know had some good ones. What else was like popular? I'm trying to think.
I can't remember if Joe Bob Briggs had a Halloween special. I know he had a Friday the 13th special, which he did every Friday the 13th.
Did you hear they're bringing Friday the 13th back? LeBron James.
Yeah, I did actually.
Is it going to be a slam dunk? I don't know.
We'll see. The point is now we might get a movie, so
That's true.
let's hope it delivers.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, that's it for our Halloween special. Do you want to do the outro? Because
Yeah, well, I want to just wish everyone a happy Halloween. Stay safe. Check your candy. Don't be stupid and just enjoy Halloween. And I'm one of your hosts, Ginger Snap. And we got Johnny.
The Boogeyman.
And happy Halloween, everybody. Stay scary.
Stay scary.